When can people start making these changes? I mean, can you reverse some of these conditions?
Well, let me be super clear and indicate that Alzheimer's disease is reversible. Do I need to say it any clearer than that? Alzheimer's disease is reversible. And as a matter of fact, in the journal Aging in September of 2014, Dr. Dale Bredesen from UCLA published for the very first time in history his ability to reverse Alzheimer's or dementia in general in 9 of his first 10 patients. Now, granted, that's not a huge number of patients, but he did so by changing their diets, by changing other aspects of lifestyle, making sure they slept enough, that they got exercise, that they weren't consuming carbohydrates, that they had normal vitamin D levels, that something called homocysteine was normalized. Various things were included in a 36-point program. Not a magic pill. We're years away from that if it ever happens, but a 36-point program finally published in peer-reviewed literature. So I'm going to be super clear in my commentary that Alzheimer's is, in fact, reversible. Now, beyond that, it's preventable. That was published in the journal Lancet Neurology by Dr. Deborah Barnes of the University of California, San Francisco, 2 years ago, showing that more than 50% of patients with Alzheimer's didn't have to get it if they would have paid attention to these important issues that we're talking about. Alzheimer's is an inflammatory condition, just like coronary artery disease, Alzheimer's, Parkinson's, MS, autism, inflammatory conditions of the brain, like depression is. And inflammation has its genesis in the gut by changes that happen to the gut bacteria. This is what our leading-edge researchers are telling us. And the purpose of BrainMaker is to take that leading-edge science and work with it in such a way that everyone who reads the book can understand it and then put into play those lifestyle changes to pave the way for better brain health. And
Dr. Perlmutter, I'd like to have you tell people where they can find your information and BrainMaker. I know that they're going to want to learn more about this and, this years of research that you've now put into this new New York Times bestselling book.
BrainMaker is available at all the online retailers, Amazon, Barnes & Noble, but also many regular bricks-and-mortar bookstores carry BrainMaker, and so it's available everywhere. My site, where I publish information every day, is drperlmutter.com, oddly enough. And there are videos of our patients who rehabbed their guts and lost weight, became less depressed, autistic child who began speaking and became socially interactive, and a multiple sclerosis patient regaining the ability to walk. So it's a pretty compelling stuff. And clearly it's different than you might expect and that people are used to, and that's good. I'm really happy to say that it is different. It is outside the box.
Just a little tip for people. You talk a lot about probiotics and things like that through food in BrainMaker, but how do people know what probiotics, besides if they want to get them in a supplement form, how do they decide that, what to get?
Certainly, there is a dizzying array of probiotic products that are available, and I outline that. I provide what you should look for in a probiotic in terms of its design, but more importantly, I provide the 5 key probiotic species that I think are really what should be looked for when you're buying a probiotic that has a lot of different species of bacteria in it. So that's really good information to have, and species like Lactobacillus plantarum, Bifidobacterium longum, for example, really key bacteria species that you should look for when you're buying a probiotic. But beyond that, I emphasize consuming probiotic foods. Kimchi is a Korean dish, fermented, become very, very popular these days. I'm all over it, and basically BrainMaker is, and here's why. Providing the information about what these can do for you, how they can rebuild your gut bacteria, and how absolutely fundamental that is for your future health.
Dr. Perlmutter, thank you so much for joining us today on Wellness Talk Radio, and really a heartfelt thank you to you for your books. They've changed my life significantly.
Well, Chris, thank you for having me today. I really enjoyed it and look forward to hearing our interview.